The real winner is the power of friendship. Big agree. All right, looks like we're rolling in. So, $200. All right. Oh well, we got the immediate 1-1 beaver death, the classic right there. Definitely has been known to happen from time to time.
Go! Go!
Interesting. Solid Snake is playing 1-1 as Donkey. That's pretty atypical. Donkey's pretty slow, and we're on the Rhino. Doing some dank hundo strats, it seems like. Flibbityflam is taking the more traditional roll through his Diddy route. Diddy is a lot faster than Donkey, as you might be able to tell from the fact that even dying, he still beat the level at about the same time. They're actually just a little faster. A little bit of trouble getting on. A little bit of a miscue at that TNT barrel from Solid Snake's side. Yeah, 1-2. The fastest way through the level is what Flib is doing right here. Taking a shot through that secret area, launching yourself into the bonus stage. Flies over most of the level. So 1-1 and 1-2, not exceptionally difficult or interesting. But I assure you it's about to be. The 1-3 right here is actually quite hard. 4-way split if you can't for death. Rolling past that barrel in 1-3 at the start is not trivial at all. Rolling through barrels in general in the Donkey games is actually pretty tough.
So why is it difficult? Just from someone that doesn't know Donkey Kong very well, is it
because the roll button, the run button, and the barrel button are all the same button.
Ah, okay.
They're all mapped to the Y button, just like everything in this game.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So trying to roll through a barrel, you have to like hit Y to start the roll, release Y as you cross the barrel, and then repress Y after you're on the other side.
Okay.
So it's definitely an art, not a science.
Yeah.
So notably here, being Donkey underwater doesn't actually inconvenience him in any way. Donkey and Diddy actually have the same water speed, which is the one thing that Donkey actually does right. Snake taking a bit of a death right at the end of 1-3 right there. It's gonna slow him down a lot, especially since he didn't seem to have grabbed midway. Unfortunate. We got the fish here. Fish is much, much faster. 11924, but yeah. 2 1s. Anyway. The fish is a ton faster than the Kongs underwater. Like, it's insane how much slower the levels are without him, so you really want to keep him. If you take any damage on one of these levels, he can fly off screen, and if he gets too far off screen, he despawns. And that is very sad.
Yeah, I can see that being a big problem. So when with the water mechanics, I know you said DK is not slower than Diddy. Is there any hitbox differences? Is there any advantage to using Diddy in some water sections?
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. You want to be Diddy all the time in this game, no matter what.
Fair enough.
There are a very, very small number of circumstances where you're gonna want to be Donkey, and most of them are to kill him.
Okay, that makes sense.
Flip going back for the midway there, probably in case he messes up this extended roll, which he does. Unfortunate. That is not the easiest thing to do in the world, but he was trying to do the extended roll into... What would have happened is he would have landed on that tree without having to take the cannon, and he would have done what he's doing right now, only much faster. Anyway, Snake showing exactly what I was talking about a second ago with the fish. You get hit, and it is a bad time. He just does whatever he wants after you lose him, and there's not a lot of easy ways to recover him. He can end up like throwing himself into enemies so that when you try to remount on him, you just get hit again, and it's the worst. See if Snake actually knows about the backup fish right there, which he seems to be opting out of. There he goes. See if he gets that one. Nope. So Flib went for another extendo there. Extended rolls are the biggest speed tech in this game from like the perspective of just like tricks and movement. Basically, when you roll through an enemy, you gain a boost of speed. When you roll through an enemy without the Y button held down, the boost of speed does not come until you repress the Y button. And because of that, you can change the timing on your roll to make your roll go farther or change your trajectory through the air. And that will let you take some routes and shortcuts that you wouldn't really be able to otherwise. Speaking of shortcuts, 2-2 is not a level. It's going to be the first instance of a developer-intended warp right there over on the screen.
Yeah, I've played enough Mario Maker to see dev exits. I know how that goes.
Yeah, we're out of here. That level... tearing into 2-3 right here. Bouncy Bonanza, excuse me. This level is probably the first, like, really genuinely difficult level in the run, especially if you go for the really advanced strats. Let's see, coming up right here, it's going to be the legendary bee skip, where you skip the bees. Flip not going for it. Wisely, I might add. That trick is actually really hard. You just got to go fast, but you got to go fast through crawl spaces, which is one of those things that takes some practice. There's some more skips you can do over these bees on the tires. Whoop. Sometimes when you try to jump off a tire, like what just happened to Flip there, you kind of get your bounce eaten as the tire takes its downswing, and you don't get a jump, and it's real sad. Let's see if Snake can get into the shortcut barrel, or if he's just gonna opt out. He's gonna play the level as God intended. Notably, that was another dev warp over in 2-4. You just go left at the start of the level, and there is no level. You still have to play the ending segment. Oh, interesting. So I can tell that Flibbityflam has definitely done his homework, because he's going for the good old super jump here. Let's see if he hits it. He does.
Yeah, Flib gets really invested in speedruns. He tends to no-life them once in a while, so it doesn't surprise me that he went for some of the harder tech.
Doing some advanced technologies for sure. But yeah, he went for the super bounce there, which is a glitch in the game where when you take damage, your other guy runs off screen, and as he's doing that, if he hits like a wall or something like that, he'll rocket off the top of the screen, which is just the game just is despawning him basically, in the only way it knows how. The game stores that state. Oh, please don't! Oh, Snake almost did the classico, where you roll into orange guy at the end of 1-5 there and die. It is a real shame every time it happens, but it happens a lot more than you might think. That is a legitimate danger. Anytime you're out of good pace on 1-5, you just roll right into red guy and die, and you feel very sad. Then you play the last 3 minutes of the game again. That warp in 3-1, I'll go back to the super bounces in a second, because another one might come up anyway, is only available if you're Donkey, which is the reason why we finished the boss fight of the other stage as Donkey. Another reason is Donkey's boss fanfare is actually a little bit faster. But that barrel is only there if you're Donkey, and only if you get there fast. It's like weird and arbitrary. Also, we got Winky! Winky live on stream over on the right half of the screen. Absolutely amazing. He's the best animal buddy, clearly, because he's a frog.
So is there a bit of strife in the animals that people like in the DKC community?
There are dueling philosophies, for sure, but those who have seen the light definitely believe in the power of the frog.
Okay.
He's a holy creature, of course. So, meanwhile, while I've been memeing, on the left half of the screen, oh, we are in the minecart, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, on the left half of the screen, there's a whole lot of level that he is flying over right now. That's another super bounce. But when your guy rockets off the top of the screen, like I said a second ago, that state gets stored. And when you get the guy back from a DK barrel, you still have that state. So if you take damage and continue to hold the B button and then like bounce an enemy, you just go. And you will go up off the top of the screen until you release the B button. You will not fall until you stop holding it. And that is it's pretty fast in some levels. Did he do the thing? I really hope he didn't do the thing. Okay, he didn't do I was a little worried there. Because I wasn't paying too much attention on the left half of on Flib's screen. There's a way that you can actually wrong warp out of that bonus with the bird.
Oh.
And go back to 1-1, which is really funny. But he didn't do it. It's not the hardest thing to do in the world. I think you have to take damage off the bird, if I remember right. But bird route is a little slower than the optimal route in this level, but it's a lot easier. He got hit and lost his bird anyway, so we're going to see an attempt at natural route, but still worth noting. The beginner route with the bird is only a little bit slower. Millstone, by the way, the first level that has a lot of really long extended rolls. He might be in trouble here. Okay, he's good. He's good. When you get hit in this game, notably, a lot of objects that are moving do not stop moving while you're in hit frames because the game is very weird. They just keep going, and those naughty wheels are one of them. They can just kind of block the path if you get hit during one of those escape sections from them, and then you're screwed. And there's not a lot you can do about it. Anyway, Flib is going for a trick here called Mapwarp. On these corners that exist in the world map in stages, only in World 1, your Kong stops for about 1 frame. And if you are one guy or a funky plane and you are hitting any face button when you stop on that corner for 1 frame, you will, the game tries to send you into a level, but there is no level there. So the game sends you to just an arbitrary destination, and that corner sends you to the end of Orangutan Gang, which is the level that you just skipped. It's really weird. It's used in any percent to go to O-Gang and set up the other warp that you use to basically skip the entire game, which I believe Void will be showing a little later. Flip getting hit on the fish right there. This is Clam City. This is the worst level to lose your fish, because he is right at the start. There is no backup, and it is very, very easy to lose him here, because this level is mean, and he's about to experience what I was talking about earlier, I think. Oh, he's just abandoning the fish. Fair enough. That section, if you get hit on the fish, he just swims back and forth, and those sharks, and remounting him from that point is very, very difficult without taking damage, and it's rough. It's a real bad time. I can't blame him at all for just opting out of it and trying to swim through the level. It is a lot slower, though. Like, unfortunately, the Kongs just cannot keep up with an actual fish underwater. Who would have thought? See if Snake knows about the warp barrel on this stage. Would seem not. So the queen over here, Queen Bee, yet another boss in this game that boils down to hit it as soon as it becomes vulnerable. I notice I haven't talked about the bosses too much because they're not really that interesting. They're all just like a case of when they take damage, they become invincible for an amount of time, and then you want to hit them as soon as the invincibility ends. It's not particularly complicated.
Just more about optimizing and understanding when they become vulnerable again.
Yeah, you can go for quick hits on Queen Bee, where you hit her as she's still going up and down, but like right when she becomes vulnerable. It's the only speed tech in the fight. It's pretty cool. Notably, for some reason, picking up the right barrel in that fight causes, or I think it's left barrel actually. Every time you pick up left barrel in that fight, you get 1 frame of lag. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. It makes no sense. You just always grab right barrel. Saves like 5 frames. Got another frog sighting over on the right there. It was excellent. Big fan. But Flib is over here on the ice level. Messed up that barrel trick a second there. But when you're holding a steel keg on one of those icy slopes and you jump, for some reason, you just get this ludicrous boost of speed. And it's like a lot. You go flying through the air, and you can use it to skip some of these barrel cycles. The 101% TAS uses it a lot, like everywhere, because you can do it with any barrel, but it's frame perfect. But it's not frame perfect in the snow. I don't know why. The game is just like that. There are a lot of things in this game that are just, I don't know why, but it's like that. So, over here in Ice Age, or not Ice Age, Slipslide Ride, there's another barrel that's supposed to be donkey only, but okay, he's just going for the tag. There's a trick you can do there where you just go over the top of the screen using the rope, and you grab that barrel as Diddy anyway. It saves like just the time for the swap, but it is pretty cool. These ropes are... The red ropes slide you down as you're climbing up them. So you kind of have to fight against them as you're working your way up them. It's a bit tricky. I don't know how to talk, I promise. Over here, Ice Age Alley. This level is deceptively difficult, mostly because you play the whole thing on this bird. Our friend Espresso the ostrich. Espresso is incredibly fast, and this level is a lot of like swinging on ropes, and that is very slow. So you save like minutes of your life, I swear, by having the bird in this level, but getting hit means that you do not have a bird anymore. So this level can be kind of stressful, and there are a lot of like really tight jumps that you can take that like save just seconds at a time, and it's real scary when you're on a good pace. But Flib is tearing through it right now, doing pretty well. He's out actually. That's the last hard part. Notably, if you run into that claptrap at the end with the bird, I'm pretty sure it flings you like right onto the platform with the damage boost. Go! Go! So you just barely don't die, but it's always scary. Anyway, Flib is currently on the longest level in the entire game. This is Croctopus Chase. It's a thing. It is a very, very long, very difficult underwater stage. Basically, all of the optimizations in this level are going to come from how well you swim. And that comes down to how well you take your corners. You want to take your corners as like widely and smoothly as possible to preserve your momentum going up and down without touching the corners at all. Touching the corners makes you lose speed like he did just there. It makes you lose a lot of speed, which means that you have to re-accelerate. And like every single time you do that, there's a pretty notable amount of time that's lost. And it piles up real fast. The difference in like a top runner playing this stage and like a mediocre runner playing this stage is like 20-30 seconds. And you can never really quite see what it is that you did wrong.
That's crazy. So I'm guessing sometimes it's just the octopus cycles. Like if you're going too slow, you have to hide away in a little cave.
There's no cycles.
There's no cycles or anything like that?
It's purely movement.
Okay.
It is purely the speed at which you move through the level. And it's insane.
Interesting.
Just like how much savings there is to be had in just swimming a little better. Like, it's actually wild. Notably, this is a world record holder of the category Lovebird's favorite stage in the entire game.
Yeah, it seems like it has a lot of movement tech.
It is deceptively difficult. It doesn't look like you're doing a whole lot, but this is, most runners would agree, this is the hardest stage to optimize in the entire run.
That's actually pretty cool.
I don't think anybody told Snake that there were warps in the game, by the way. He's definitely doing a warpless run over here.
Yeah. Yeah, we gave him resources, but it just really came down to how they wanted to learn it, I guess.
Yeah, that is how it be. Sometimes it be that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't hear the music because I don't want it to echo through the commentary, but we would be able to tell in the community. We have a thing where we use the sound cue at the end of that level to tell how good you were swimming.
Oh.
If you're doing it really well, you don't hear any pianos at the end of the music. And that's called pianoless.
Interesting.
Pianoless
That's cool.
is impossible. I've never done it in my life. It is very, very, very hard. But Lovebird actually resets if he doesn't get pianoless. That's true. So this level here that Flib is going through, it's real dark. There was a parrot at the start of it, but we do not grab the parrot because he generates a large amount of lag. His flashlight just slows the game down a lot. The level's actually not too difficult to navigate in the dark, so just kind of yo, you re-entered. Go! Been there, done that, dude. Just a case of over mashing at the end of the stage. Not going for the RBR super jump roll. Very advisable. That trick is impossible. Flip's actually tearing it up. I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, he started working on it because we actually had a late dropout. Somebody else was supposed to be running, and Flib took it 5 days ago. And I think he pulled a 44:30 is his PB.
34:30. That's actually like probably better than my. Admittedly, he's playing a faster category than I was, but it's still kind of funny.
Yeah, he went pretty hard on it.
That's pretty wild, yeah. Rolled a little bit too deep there, bonked his head. RBR here is a pretty difficult stage. It's probably one of my favorite levels in the entire run. There's a lot of really tricky movement, really precise jumps, and there's a lot of tire rolls if you're going for the optimal route. And tire rolls are a thing that I don't think I've seen Flip go for at all. They're not the hardest thing in the world, but they're very perilous. If you mess one up, you are probably just dead. So I can't fault him for not going for it. Whoop. Darkness. It's okay, we're back.
Yeah, that was my bad.
All good. So over here we got Bird 2, or not Bird 2, Beaver 2. I know how to talk. I know what animals are, I promise. Beaver 2, you hit him, you jump. You hit him, he jumps a whole lot. He just is invincible while he's doing big jumps, and then he's vulnerable again. There's not a whole lot to say about him, just like every other boss in the game. Notably, if you're not going for the truly optimal route, you can save some time here by killing Donkey, and that's great. But you save Donkey if you're playing ODA and going for the super jump roll. Which I don't think Flib appears to be going for, but I doubt anybody told him about the kill Donkey tech. That's old tech at this point. No longer optimal route. Feels bad.
If it's in the wiki, there's a chance he might do it.
Yeah. So this stage here, Oil Drum Alley, this is one of the hardest levels in the entire run. It's very, very tricky. There's a lot of ways to die. Optimal movement through it involves a lot of rolls that are dangerously close to perils. Many bad things can happen if you mess them up. But it feels really great to do this level fast. Like, one of the things about this game is that it's so scary all the time, because basically every mistake in this game can like kill you. But it's also like incredibly rewarding to do things right because of that. So, coming out of ODA here, ODA is definitely another one of my favorite levels in the entire game. Right after that, we've got Trick Track Trek. This is a very, very long auto-scroller. It's also over. Thank goodness. The last developer-intended warp in the video game is going to be right there.
Nice. Gotta love dev exits. They're great.
A lot of the warps just happen to be in levels that have that are auto-scrollers. Who knew?
Even the developers knew how much everyone hates auto-scrollers.
It's pretty great, yeah. So this stage here, ooh, it's going for the technology. This is new tech that I'm not super knowledgeable about. This wasn't a thing when I knew the game. But there's a super jump over this stage now. Notably, there is a way that you can soft lock doing this, but it's been pretty scienced out at this point. Which is a shame, honestly, because I really like this level. This is another level that we just kind of do a flyover on that is really cool. Like, it's really technical and really interesting, and it feels really good to play, and bittersweet taste of just soaring over it and not seeing any of the cool movement you do down there. But it's faster. What are you gonna do, you know? Over here, we've got the last water level in the entire game, Poison Pond. I saw that. Holding right at the second for the start of the stage there. You're supposed to hold left. You go get the fish. Muscle. It's real hard to not hold right at the start of every level.
Oh, I totally get that. I used to be a Mega Man runner, and every stage is go right. So
yep.
I feel that.
It's real hard. I hate this stage. I hate Poison Pond so much. This is just a mess of knowing when to lunge your fish. A lot of people will advise counting the lunges, and there we go. It's a hard level to recover from just about anything. You make a mistake, and then it just cascades into more mistakes because you're just in trouble now. You're in the infinite of, I don't have a fish, I don't have a guy, I'm trying to swim and catch my fish, and then, like, oh, everything is sad. And it's just... It's not really like it's that hard, but it's like if you make a mistake, you get put in the blender sometimes, and it's real bad. Unguard's hitbox does not take damage when he's in the middle of a lunge, so you can clip through these mincers, which sort of adds to the perilousness of it all. There's an example right there. Getting a little tossed by the level layout. There's the mincer clip that he went for there. That one saves a very unironic amount of time, and if you don't take it, like what happened here, you lose your fish. He swims off to the left, sorry. He swims through the wall into where that warp barrel is, and he despawns. He's gone. And it's pretty over at that point. You gotta swim the rest of the way. So what's happening here is there's a bit of a cheater strat through this screen. If you just swim all the way at the top, none of the fish ever hit you. There's a free out for anybody who's playing this game and thinks that section is miserable. Just swim to the top. Alright, now here comes one of my favorite glitches in the entire game. If you swapped a donkey on the solid ground there, and then roll into that minecart without jumping, and then run into the bird with your face, this happens. Diddy is flying. Don't worry about that too much. He is forsaken the bonds of gravity. He controls the sky. Ooh,
that was close.
A little scary.
So what causes this to happen? Is the like mimicking a hitbox or the ground, or what's happening?
I don't know, man.
You don't know yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know the answer to the question of why that happens.
Yeah.
It probably does. But the game just thinks Diddy is always on the ground, even though he's not.
That's interesting.
Because, as I probably should have explained earlier, you can jump out of a roll at any point in this game, even in midair. So because the game thinks you can start a roll, you can just keep infinitely starting a roll, jumping out of it, starting a roll, jumping out of it, starting a roll, jumping out of it. And that trick is free. If you own a copy of this game and it is not the Nintendo Switch emulator version, which is 1.2, which is not the good version, don't play that if you can help it. You can do that at home. It is actually trivial.
Okay.
Just swap on the ground and then run into the barrel, as Donkey, and then just run into the bird. And then you two can fly.
Kona said you could also do that coming out of a checkpoint barrel?
Yeah, you can. They use that in 101.
Okay.
They sort of carry the state. At least I think it's 101. Anyway, this stage here, in my earnest opinion, this is currently the hardest stage in all stages. I would have said it was platform perils, but we're going to see something in that level maybe that makes it no longer the hardest stage in the run. Blackout Basement, the lights are on, I think it's a 62 frame interval, arbitrary number. Just 2 frames over a second. Lights go on, lights go off.
And you fall to your death sometimes.
The trick to Blackout is that if you do the level the same way every time, it's easy every time. But if you get thrown off your movement by even a little bit, the lights are no longer where you think they are. And that's the real danger, because you have the lights and you have these platform cycles. And it's a tricky thing to recalibrate yourself when things are no longer where you think they are and you can't see anymore. So when you nail your route and you just do everything fine, this level is no big deal. But any mistake turns it into pain very, very fast. But little finesse, I believe in him. Ooh, okay. That's probably the last hard jump in the stage. We got these blue guys crawling through in the dark, but everything else is a little easier to manage. We're gonna have a Manky Kong throwing barrels at us as we take this little road here. That part's kind of scary, but other than that, you just roll through the green guys and go to the end of the level. That was probably the hardest normal stage in the run. Now we got the easiest boss. This guy, he's pretty uninteresting. He slams his face into the wall. He spits out some enemies, and when you kill all the enemies, he just dies. Notably, this is the only time in the run. Well, one of the only times in the run where we're going to play as Donkey, and Donkey is actually faster. Playing as Donkey for a reason other than to kill Donkey or to take a Donkey-only warp.
I'm gonna interrupt real quick and just say disband Hyrule Hero if you guys want to spam that.
Honestly. Absolutely disband Hyrule. Some speed tech when you're fighting your homie Boss Dum-Drum. Unintelligent Cylinder, as Joe likes to call him. If you're bouncing an enemy and you hit another enemy in the air, you kill that enemy. The game does not care whether you come from the top or bottom of him. As long as you are in the bounce animation, that dude just dies. So you can kind of just jump up, and after you bounce the first guy, just kind of rub your face into Dum-Drum, and you'll bounce the other guy right as it comes out. It's really, really easier than it looks. Anyway, Tanked Up Trouble is a very, very long auto-scroller that has 2 incredibly difficult skips for it. One of them is a lot easier. The other one is, it's Kaiza. If Flip even goes for it, yeah, he's gonna opt out of that one. Like, even going for that trick is one of those things that I wouldn't advise a newer runner to do. If he goes for the much easier bird tut here, he's gonna opt out of that too, actually. That's fine. Both of those tricks can kill you. They both skip the auto-scroller. One saves, I think it's 50 seconds, the other saves 40. Go! More or less. It's like, I'm approximating, obviously. It was, It's really nerve-wracking on pace, playing this game, because you just kind of get to play the entire game, and then you get to go for it. And either you get the tut frames, or you don't. And if you do, you save 40 seconds, and if you don't, you reset, I guess. And it's a frame-perfect trick. So, bit troublesome. Bit of a sour point right at the end of the game, but you know how it is. Those bees will not hit you if you're crouching as Diddy, because this game is amazing. Neither will these ones. You just duck under that entire segment, and then you don't have to do anything.
Is Donkey's hitbox a little too big to do that?
DK's hitbox is definitely too big to do that.
Diddy for the win again.
Always Diddy, dude. Interesting. Every time you enter a level, you lose, like, I think it's 12 frames if you have Donkey, because the other Kong has to move on the map to catch up to Diddy. So killing DK is actually almost always optimal. Anyway, we have the Super Jumperino over this stage, which is some other tech that was not in the game when I was actively paying attention or like playing it. But there's also a jump roll over this, which is even faster. But we're just going to fly over this level. This level's normally pretty difficult, and you usually would do it as Rambi the Rhino. And Rambi in this game is awful. He's absolutely horrible. He has built-in input delay on every movement that he takes. And it is very not fun to control. And you have to play a lot of the level as him. But as an upside, you get to throw him into a hole at the end. So there's that.
That is an upside.
It's pretty tough to actually like play the level as him. Flib held the B button for too long here, so he's gonna be falling for a while.
Oh, there we go.
There he goes. Like I said, if you hold the B button, you just keep going. Like until you release, you will not stop going up. This trick here, Flip's gone for a lot of stuff, so I think I'm gonna see him go for this one here. This is the super free roll. Do not confuse the name. It is not free. Not at all. My man is currently flying through the sky. He did some black magic over on that rope, where you notice he was like floating down. And he had the super jump state on the rope, which makes the game very, very confused about like what state he should be in. So when he rolls off the can there, he has the like super jump flying upward state. And then by like zigzagging and hitting enemies, he's grabbing roll speed, and he's just flying over the whole level like we've seen him do before, but at roll speed. So it's pretty fast. He only hit a couple of guys. You want to hit 4 guys to get maximum roll speed, but it's still a lot faster than playing the level as intended if you release B at the right time. Flip's done that a couple of times. There's good visual cues on like when you're supposed to release, but they change if you don't hit the number of guys that you mean to. So it's kind of like you have to know the I hit 3 guys release window, I hit 2 guys release window, I hit 4 guys release window.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But Loopy Lights here, second to last level. Kind of the final boss in the current all stages route, because the next level, which is the final normal stage in the game, gets skipped. I think we'll see Flip go for that one. Yeah, given everything else I've seen him go for, he probably knows that trick too. That one's easier than some of the other things I've seen him do today. But that was the most recent major technology that was discovered in the game, the perils skip. So hopefully we get to see that today. Yeah, anybody cracking cold ones in the chat room? This level is on these light cycles that are controlled by when you hit these barrels. Once again, optimally, you don't really need the lights. You just kind of know where everything is. It makes it very scary. This section right here with the bees, you can not stall for any of the bees. You can just kind of hold right and jump at the right times in that segment. It is very, very difficult and very dangerous, and it's at the end of the run. So it's kind of a nerve-wracker, but it is very fast and very cool. So let's see if Flib is going to go for Peril Skip. He's going to save. I approve. Marathon strat. This trick can soft lock the game. So definitely approve of that safety for a live run. Anyway, he's going to grab his DK barrel here. He's going to throw it, and he's going to start select while it's in the air. That gives him a state called Split Up Glitch. Now he's going to die over a pit. That's where the soft lock comes in. If you die not over a pit, you soft lock the video game. Diddy gets stuck in the hit stun animation forever, and the game is now you cannot play. But what is now happening is he is currently actually in control of Donkey and Diddy at the same time. So when he releases Donkey, the game's gonna think he's both Kongs.
Whoa.
And by shooting both Kongs out of the bonus at the same time, the game has a heart attack and decides the level is over.
Oh, interesting. What the hell?
I don't really know. Like, the internals of how that one works is very confusing. It has to be out of a level that has 2 different level paths drawn out of it. It can't be out of any level that only draws 1 path. I don't know why. Like, don't ask me the answers to these questions. I do not know them. But, yeah, the level just ends. Interestingly enough, if you beat the game, save your clear, and then reload the file, the level is now unbeaten again. It has reverted to a crockhead, and you can't pass through it anymore.
Hmm.
There was a big debate over whether it was legally constitutes all stages, which it eventually was ruled that it does. So that's how that level goes now. That level is no longer the hardest level in the run. Loopy Lights is now the hardest level in the run because Optimal Route, you play it with split up glitch active, so you don't have to walk back. And that means if you take damage in Loopy Lights, you soft lock the game. Go! And Loopy Lights is pretty hard. Anyway, this is the King. King K. Rool. This is a cutscene. Grab a drink. Take some stretch breaks. Stay hydrated. There's not a lot to talk about. The only speed tech is you want to hit him as soon as like the crown leaves his head. It's crownless hits are just, you know, they're frame savers.
Yeah.
Optimal rule, you can save like a number of seconds. But overall, this fight is very straightforward. And when you get here in a run, you just kind of take a break. It's pretty much already been decided. You just gotta relax and listen to the banger of a song. So.
Oh yeah, the song is one of the best.
Yeah. Yeah, any dance emotes in the chat, any sour pleases, any of that, fire them out. Oh, Battletoads?
God, that was Kona for sure.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, that was Void.
Some deep stream monster lore. Oh man, K. Rool's not dead! Who could have foreseen this?
Looks like Flib's actually on PB pace right now.
Is he? Ooh. Oh, you said 44? I thought you said 34.
Oh no, 44. No, he has a 44.
Like actually good.
Yeah.
Like that's legitimately a very appreciable time, yeah. 43 is not bad. That looks like a 43-23, 43-24, somewhere like that.
So yeah, I'm sure he has it timed on his end as well.
That is very solid for a 1 week time. World record is 34-13 by RPC. Thank you, Hyrule.
Well, GG's to Flib on the first race.
Yeah, that was a pretty commanding display of Donkey right there.
And we'll let Snake run through the rest of his run. Next up after this, we've got Void doing a showcase run. I can't remember what category he decided on. I should probably look. All right, well, Snake is finishing up his run. Let's pull Flib in and we can chat with him for a minute. Let me add him.
No.
I lost game feed when he did that. Whoops.
My screen share drop. There we go. Hey, Flib, are you there?
Hello?
Oh, hey.
Welcome to the chat room.
Hello, it feels good to be here. Feels
Yeah.
good to be here.
Very solid run.
Thanks.
Pretty decent for 5 days of practice, for sure.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I was nervous as hell. When we started, I ran straight into the first enemy and just hit him with my face.
Dude, that happens to everyone. Don't worry.
Like, it was kind of nice because it was like, all right, let's just get that out of the way right now so I can adjust to it later.
Cool.
So how do you feel about your run overall? That was a PB, right?
That was actually a PB. I didn't even look at the time until afterwards, and it was still going like halfway into the credits. It's like, oh, that was a big PB. There we go.
Yeah, I think it was like a 43, 23 or 24 or something like that.
It was the mid 43. It was somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like a 40-second PB.
Nice.
Not bad at all.
The super jumps are the most terrifying to me
Interesting.
to miss, especially the one in Elevator Antics.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to do that stage.
Dude,
Cool.
dude, I love that stage. You're killing me.
Wow. It's fucking terrible.
Meanwhile, I don't think anybody told Snake about the bird off to the left of this start of the stage either.
Yeah, doing this stage regularly sucks too.
It's so slow. It's actually really hard too.
Yeah. Like, I think I remember watching the tutorial, and it's like, don't ever get the halfway barrel. I was like,
No,
okay,
getting
sure.
the halfway barrel is awful because if you die, you have to do the level without the
Yeah, that was exactly it. And then it happened to me in practice once, and I was like, okay, let's just try it. We're doing no resets.
Yeah, you
And then it's
learned.
like, no, absolutely not. Don't ever hit the halfway barrel again.
It is
like-
legitimately faster to play the whole level with the bird than it is to play from the halfway without the bird.
That's actually insane.
No, it is way faster. It's not even
Yeah.
close.
But this was a really, really fun game to learn. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like this game a
so
lot.
silly.
If you had to pick what your favorite level to do in the run so far is, what one would you say?
You know, I hated it at first, but the oil barrel one.
Oil Drum Alley?
Yes, Oil Drum Valley. Thank you.
Yeah.
I hated that one at first, but like I really like it now because there's a lot of cool little ledge somersaults or whatever, and like it's just really neat.
Yeah, there's
Going
a
faster there.
that's a pretty like common thing. A lot of people like once they learn to run really well start to like that level. Donkey only ODA. When is it Hyrule? Step up.
Yeah. The water levels, I think, are the worst.
Water levels are very difficult. Yeah. I definitely saw you get the good old poison pond treatment. The fish.
Yeah. That's my least favorite. That's why I actually saved beforehand too. I was like, I hate this stage.
Yo, same dude, same.
Like, legitimately hate this stage.
Just so much just flying at you from just offside your vision.
Exactly, yeah.
Yo, snakes in the wall.
Nice wall clip.
Yeah, that'll happen basically anytime you die in a water level if you're close enough to a wall. Interestingly, if you take damage really close to the end of Clam City with Donkey on guard, you clip through the wall and exit the stage.
Really?
Yeah, it saves no time. And every few months, somebody comes in the Discord and says, "Hey, has anybody ever seen this?" we got a lot of those. There are a lot of tricks that are like, it's not useful in the speedrun, so nobody's seen it, and they show up and like, "Hey, has anybody ever... You know this is a thing?" Yeah.
Yeah.
The water level treatment over here on Snake screen. Octopus, still just an incredibly difficult stage.
It is. I think I remember reading in the tutorial, it was like, you will only ever lose time on this stage. And I'm like...
Right. It's just true, dude.
Yeah. And after playing it several times, I'm like, I see why. Because like you hit a ledge or you clip wrong or in the wrong place, like that's it. It's over. You've lost the time.
A quarter of a second. And you're just
yeah.
You ever learn DKC2? You get to play Glimmer's Galleon, which is like the same but harder.
Oh, fantastic!
It's so good. So we might want to tell Snake that if you hold like up, you swim faster.
Oh.
Yes, that is the level with the light on the fish that swings back and forth and blinds you. That is exactly that stage.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, I remember watching Tokyo learn DKC2 and just getting creamed by that level so many times.
That level's very tough.
That and the B level where you have to like drop straight down and like dodge everything on the way down.
Parachute panic, yeah.
Yeah, those two levels would destroy him.
Definitely tricky stuff. Good call on picking DKC1 as the intro to the sort of like blind speedrun learning thing, because this game has very few it has very few things that I would discover as tricks.
Yeah.
Or that I would describe as like tricks that are like really difficult technical things that are really hard to set up and all that. There's only like the super jumps, which are not hugely complicated.
They really aren't. Like, that's what I found that I really liked about the tricks in this game, is that most of them are positional, right? Like, stand in the right spot and jump at the right time. That's it.
Yeah. It's a very movement-heavy video game. I think, your man Snake has made a declaration.
Oh yeah, I'm just chatting with him right now to see what's going on.
Can we get some shout-outs to David Wise in the chat room? And responsible for the fantastic soundtrack of all three of these games.
Okay, looks like we are done with race 1. With the game over, I think Snake is wanting to just call race 1.
Respectable.
I feel
honestly.
that. I did this. I've done the same thing in races before. It. Sometimes you just gotta know when to call it quits.
GG, Snake.
All right, so with this, we're gonna go to an intermission for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and get Void set up for the showcase.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice,
we'll
guys.
we'll see if
Appreciate y'all being here.
Basement, you want to join in with Void, or if Void just wants to go solo on that, I'll chat with him.
I'll hang out if he wants me to, sure.
Okay, cool. Yep. So I'll be back.